This is Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for June 2024. Everyone's got something to say this June. Listening, on the other hand, is not so common. Attentions are short and so much is competing for them. Sitting still is rare. Everyone's juggling. At least good moods are prevalent and the ability to crack jokes about the flurry that life is becoming. Welcome to the first full month in 12 years of Jupiter in chatty, changeable Gemini. It's a noticeable shift from May, when a pileup in Taurus fixed us on practical, worldly concerns. Gemini is light and fast-moving energy, encouraging minds and bodies to be all over the place, and often several places at once. Jupiter's flight through Gemini will whip up talk and information, raise the noise and static level, amplify duplicity and trickery, and invite not taking everything so seriously. Appropriately, communication reflects this, let's call it flexibility, as Gemini's ruler Mercury goes through a few distinctive changes of clothes. After his recent retrograde doubled his time in Aries, the messenger god is back to the speed he prefers, top, and dashing through 3 signs and 3 modes of expression in June, from earthbound Taurus to high-flying Gemini to touchy-feely Cancer. Don't like the way conversations are going? Cool your jets. They'll go differently soon enough. And yet, it's not all froth, and definitely not all superficial. We go into this with a stark and unavoidable reminder of how high the stakes are. Jupiter's aggrandizing properties meet with the laser focus of Pluto on June 2nd. The trine simultaneously escalates the emergence of secrets, power games, and feral, non-rational forces that lurk in our cells and psyches, and also scales back Jupiter's excesses and Gemini's potential for superficiality. The brush with Pluto christens Jupiter's entire year in the sign and directs his tendencies to topics of great importance, which may be so for decades to come. That's because the trine is also part of Pluto's entrance into Aquarius, where he will be, apart from a brief return to Capricorn in September, into 2044. The communication shift happens immediately. Mercury's action models the process that will occur multiple times this month. A planet encountering Neptune's dissolving, reality-bending properties on the way out of a sign, then reshaping and refocusing after meeting Pluto's scalpel just inside the door to the next sign. Compassion, inspiration, and a sprinkling of fool's gold are on offer when Mercury sextiles Neptune June 2nd. Jawbones and texting fingers get moving when he enters Gemini the next day and promptly zeroes in on truths and facilitates candid, powerful exchanges. He's trining Pluto and meeting Jupiter on June 4th. Mark June 4th through 6th as Gemini days on your calendar, because the sign is center stage, with not just Mercury and Jupiter in Gemini, but also the new moon conjunct Venus. The Chatterbox Cafe will be standing room only, with pals whipping up ideas for day trips and the future. Obligations and responsibilities force us to scale back some of the activity as Venus, then the Sun, and finally Mercury square off with Saturn and his demands for order and maturity, June 8, 9, and 12. Meanwhile, how we go about things is undergoing change. Motivations and actions teem with uncomfortable undercurrents, as if someone's lying or fooling themselves, when Mars encounters friction from Neptune June 8th. The discomfort dissolves some of his recklessness and opens him to the appeal of good old terra firma, when the planet of push enters Taurus June 9th. His first task is squaring Pluto on June 11th. The clash scales our agendas back to the most important and far-reaching. Mental clarity follows. No matter what else may be happening, and no matter how many personalities we may be hosting, we get a handle on ourselves at the Sun-Mercury conjunction June 14th. The social vibe goes from palling around to looking for our teddy bears, human and plush, mid-month. Relationships, values, and creativity lose distance and contours when Venus squares Neptune June 16th and pre-soaks relationships for the emotions coming when she slips into Cancer the next day. Nurturing comes to the fore when Venus is in this sign. Her love language is food and cuddles and making the home front comfy cozy. As she settles in, our minds and conversations are following right behind. They dissolve into fantasy and forgiveness and magical thinking when Mercury squares Neptune and then dives into Cancer himself and meets Venus there, all on June 17th as well. Relationships and info channels seesaw between extremes when Mercury and Venus make adjustment aspects to Pluto June 17th and 18th. Intensity is inescapable, and the solution may be just to simplify. The Sun then joins the transition, pre-soaking with a square to Neptune and then entering Cancer on the 20th. That's the solstice, with Mercury, Venus, and the Sun snuggling up together and in the northern hemisphere ushering in the summer of love. Not flower power, not romantic, but nurturing, home and family focused, taking care of dear ones, love. The Cancer cluster waters the hard edges of the Capricorn full moon June 21st, reminding us of why and for whom we work hard. It has the support of an action-facilitating trine from Mars, which in turn enjoys a sextile from Mercury, opening doors to hands-on communication. Venus follows suit June 29th with a sextile to Mercury, offering moments of tender talk. Meanwhile, personal tweaks and reworkings are in order when the Sun inconjuncts Pluto June 22nd. Where or what might you purge or release? Mercury takes the lead as the month rolls out. Communication may have been all over the place for most of June, but control over the information flow unfolds naturally with Mercury's trine to Saturn June 26th. Ideas firm, expressions of love and concern lead to commitment and feeling secure. The timing is right to speak your heart. Mercury's sextile to Uranus closes the month with unexpected openings, unexpected outpourings, and unexpected suggestions. They add emotional content and ballast to the Jupiterian excess our minds, mouths, and ears have been enjoying. It's not all milk and cookies, of course. Lightning hitting water may trigger discomfort, crabbiness, and tears. Proceed with gentleness and tenderness and direct some of that to yourself. And if your inner child wants ice cream, who's to say that isn't the most comforting response? I'm Kathy Beal, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. Visit my site, empowermentunlimited.net, to sign up for my mailing list and download my Jupiter in Gemini quick reference guide as a thank you. Listen to my weekly podcasts and book a session with me. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Beal, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there, which you could do for as little as $1 a month. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host lively conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group The Astro Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at @KABeal and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel.